You know him from ESPN, from CBS, formerly from NFL Network. I heard you had a house guest recently. I got to ask you, you were the home of a class pet rabbit. How
Yeah.
fake sad, Jason, did you have to be returning that to school this morning?
Fake sad? Not at all. Look, the rabbit comes home. That is against my own ruling. My wife
Of
takes
course.
over, doesn't allow me to have an opinion on that. So my youngest, Kai, she has this class pet, Snowball, little white rabbit. She absolutely loves him. And when he comes, my son, he loves chasing the rabbit around. I'm not a pet guy. Like, I'm not cleaning up poop. I'm not feeding. I'm
Yeah.
responsible for 3 kids, have a wife. I don't want another living thing that now I have to take care of and make sure it's returned alive the next day at school. So the rabbit made it through. Snowball was all good. I didn't hold Snowball, didn't feed Snowball, didn't clean the cage out. All I did was lift the cage, put it in the car, and drop him off at school. So I did a good job, though. The rabbit was
I
here under
thought,
my
yeah,
roof.
I thought maybe for Kai, you'd have to be like, darn, I wish we could keep little Snowball longer and like have to pretend that you're sad to be getting rid of it. But you're honest, Jason. You say it how it is. Those white carpets are a tough for me. You know, you have that rabbit, those white carpets, like if I were you, that would be we have white carpets. That's not happening.
No doubt about it. Keeping those clean aren't my responsibility either. So a lot of that falls on my wife. So I plead the third on that stuff. But yeah, I'm completely
Oh,
honest with the kids. They know where I stand.
Jason, I feel like you're playing this all wrong. Mother's Day is in the rear view. Father's Day is just a couple weeks ahead. Like this should be your campaign for I'm Father of the Year. Look what I allowed and how great I am. The presents and the red carpet treatment better be happening.
I can go on a rant about Father's Day. Father's Day, I'm going to be spending all day with all 3 kids because it's going to be special. Don't you want to take pictures and go out with the kids? And the truth of the matter, Father's Day, everybody wants to go play golf. You want to go grab a beer with your buddies. You're trying to get away. Like it's your day to kind of go back and remind yourself what life was like before the kids. There's a lot of dads watching like, hell yeah, McCourty knows what he's talking about.
Well said. I think you're going to get the royal treatment. You'll get to hopefully do whatever you want. We have Mercedes Lewis on the show, entering his 20th NFL season. He kind of wants to go back to Chicago again. We're going to see what he's thinking. But it reminds me of Aaron Rodgers, and that's like still the story right now, right? We just have to talk about it. Like he's also entering that season, right? He's at a concert over the weekend, dropping hints about the Steelers. My question for you is, inevitably, he's going to sign with the Steelers. We hope it gets done. What is he missing by not being around the team now?
I think for Rodgers, you're missing that unique time period right now where all 32 teams feel like they're going to win the Super Bowl. The vibes in every building across the NFL are exceptional right now. So this is the time to really make friends, build that chemistry. You're in all-season workouts. You're only in the building 4 to 6 hours a day. Guys go grab dinner. They do a lot of those different things of getting to know one another in this moment. At the same time, when you're a guy like Aaron Rodgers and you've been in locker rooms with so many different guys over the course of 20 years, you walk in and automatically there's a level of respect and you have that ability to get to know people. So yes, there's the playbook and there's all those other things that he has to get acclimated to. But as long as Aaron Rodgers shows up for training camp, he'll be okay. He'll be able to get there from a knowledge-based standpoint, learn what he needs to learn. But it's just like at the same time, we saw when he got to the New York Jets, he was there the entire offseason building those relationships from day one.
But then he went to Egypt, and it was a story around the time that I saw you and Dev at training camp. Like, and I guess looking back on that, did that affect anything? I would just say, like with Aaron, so much of what he does and is great at is like precision and timing. So like that's chemistry with your guys, right?
For sure. And I think training camp gives you plenty of time to do that. Would you love for him to be there if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers right now? Absolutely. If you're Cam Hayward, if you're TJ Watt, you want to be picking Aaron Rodgers' brain when you're out there at OTAs or mandatory minicamp, all of those different things and all of those touch points where you get to build and start to figure out as a team and your identity and all of those different things. But I do also know as you get older and you're playing in the league, there are things in your life that kind of it takes priority over some other things. So for Rodgers, it might be more important that, hey, I'm just at home and I'm relaxed and I don't have to show up and do everything right now. For the Steelers, do you look at that as a red flag and say, hey, does he really want to play football that bad? Is he trying to get to a championship that bad if he's not there now and being able to put the work in? But for them right now, Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin, what is the alternative? Like, you don't have another guy to say, we're going to go out and get this guy, so you're waiting on a guy like Aaron Rodgers.
The longer this goes on, the more I'm trying to like get ahead of the holes that are going to be poked, right? The
Yeah.
Egypt storylines, like if he's not here, this. So I'm trying to sort of dispel them because I'm not of the belief that he needs to be there. And he's obviously been quite clear that he's dealing with things that are bigger than football and understands, in his words, what a commitment it is to join a team. I just wonder, like, because I'm looking at is there at any point does it affect like a Cam Hayward where he's like, let's go, like at any point does it get like, is there an expiration date? Is there, you're saying training camp. So as long as he gets there before training camp, it doesn't really impact them being a contender in the AFC.
Yeah, and I think it's how you show up too. I think for a guy like Cam Hayward, Rodgers shows up, he's ready to work, he's into it from day one. He shows up and he's telling DK what to run on this route. He's helping guys in the slot, and he's talking to all of the different players and saying, hey, this is what I did in Green Bay. This is the way we did it here. The year we won the Super Bowl, we were able to do some of these things. I think that's what matters. Once he shows up, the energy that he brings every single day, the knowledge that he brings every single day, he has to be all in. And I think as veterans on that team, you recognize that right away, because you got to imagine you're a guy on that offensive side of the ball. When Rodgers walks in to an offensive meeting and he starts to talk, everybody's going to sit up straight in their chair. And I know people will criticize the play and the way he did it with the Jets and say that he's fallen off and all of those things. Still, when you're a player and you love this game and you've studied this game and you grew up watching somebody do it at an extremely high level, whether they're still playing at that level or not, when they walk in, they command a room. So I think it's more about how he shows up, if he's already in shape. Because I promise you, if I'm a defender and I've watched different quarterbacks since Big Ben get in there and not be able to get the job done, if Rodgers gets in practice and he's spinning it, I'm excited as hell to have him on my team.
Well said. And I'm just trying to think of all things considered. Like you have to consider art. You have to consider, like the defense for the Bengals. All that. Like, I'm looking at like the complexion of that division. What does he do? Does he hop? I was looking at the odds on FanDuel. It's Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns. Like, does he lift them above the Bengals? Does it make him? You're like, where do you even slot him in at quarterback if you're ranking them in this division? Is he first, second, third?
No, he's third. I mean, you look at Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow are the cream of the crop in that division. He's not taking the seat away from either one of those guys. I mean, with the Cleveland Browns, he's ahead of them by default because we don't know who the hell is going to be under center week one as they figure out which quarterback is going to be the starter. I think Rodgers, you look at the Bengals and you look at the Steelers. We know what the Bengals are on the offensive side of the ball. For the Bengals, defensively, we don't know if Trey Hendrickson is going to be there, if he's showing up when training camp rolls around with the contract situation that he's going through. Everything is pointed to Al Golden being awesome since he's shown up and he's been in the building. Everybody's fired up from that standpoint. They've drafted extremely high on the defensive side of the ball since getting Joe Burrow. Can they get some of those draft picks to come through and really start to shine and show up for them? Because that's going to be the major thing. When you pay that much money on the offensive side of the ball, the question mark is, can the Bengals keep up defensively? Burrow and Chase had career years last year, NFL history type of years, and they still missed the playoffs. So I think for you bring in a guy like Rodgers and what the Steelers have defensively, they were in the playoffs last year with Russ and with Justin Fields not playing great football. You can argue that Rodgers was just as good as both of those guys a year ago and maybe can take them a step further.
It's well said, and they've got to get those something out of those rookies in Cincinnati, but they also have to get them signed.
Yes.
Shamar.
Yeah. Like what are we doing?
I don't know what we're doing, but I'm hopeful. It doesn't make me feel great. What are we doing booing Tom Brady at the Indy 500? Did you see any of this? What were your thoughts seeing this?
I guess like when you're good looking, you're the best at what you do on the football field, you retire, you walk into another extremely lucrative job. Like you just got like people just love to hate a guy like Brady. But I love the fact he's big smiles, doesn't faze him at all. But I guess for some people, it's just like, we're at the Indy 500. Like Brady's not a racist. Like get the hell off the stage. Like we don't want to see you in this arena too, man. We see you everywhere else. We don't want to see you here.
And Indy doesn't love him historically, so.
Why would you? In New England, that's where he's loved. Like,
here's my question. What does booing, knowing him as well as you do and going up against him, of course, your brother playing there for even longer than you, of course, joining with him. What does booing do to Tom Brady?
Well, we all know the answer to that. Like, he's a psycho when it comes to stuff like that. Like it has to fire him up. I remember after we won the Super Bowl in 2018, we come back 2019. Brady didn't come. He didn't do any of the offseason stuff until it became the mandatory minicamp. So he would show up. Gronk would show up for the mandatory minicamp. Brady would be on one side of the field as we were doing team drills. And our defense, that was the year in 2019. We were first in the NFL throughout the course of that year. We're cursing each other out off the entire defensive sideline. Devin, myself, Jamie Collins, Dante Hightower, all of these guys, and just Brady on the other side. And everybody's just cursing each other out, going back and forth. And that's the level of competitiveness he would bring every single day to practice. And I can't imagine it's any different for him now at Fox Sports.
Yeah, I feel like any criticism he got, even for the booth, like he took that and now nobody's criticizing him. Like I think it fuels him in a way. I'm surprised he didn't hop in one of those Indy cars and just race then and there, based off the booing on our guy. Okay, the Titans. So I mentioned earlier a bunch of teams, 20 of them apparently, Hammer said, are at OTAs. The Titans were one of them. You played 8 seasons down in Nashville. What have you heard and seen, and how do you feel about their number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward, so far?
Fired up. I was there when we drafted Jake Locker in the first round. And then a few years later, we end up with the 2 pick. We draft Marcus Mariota in the first round. And that city is starving for a superstar quarterback to come in and take them to new heights. Speaking of different people there, they've raved about Cam Ward. And obviously, we saw Calvin Ridley go on. He talked about the quiet confidence he has of showing up. What they've said is his ability to connect with people has been very impressive. Yes, there's the work that he's going to put in on the field and learning the plays and being able to throw the ball and all those things. But they said his ability to connect with every single person in the building, not only in the locker room with his teammates, but even learning the people outside the building, hearing a name once or twice and remembering it and having it and putting it in his memory bank to be able to reference that person, say hi to that person. When you're going in as a first overall pick and the quarterback, you have a unique ability to unite an entire building to believe that you actually can achieve something this upcoming season and for the future. And for all intents and purposes, what everyone's saying down there, Cam Ward is that guy. As soon as he walks in, there is a newfound belief that they're going to be able to do some special things. There is belief that his connection with Calvin Ridley is going to grow and could be one of the best in the AFC. I think even when you look at it, the fact that they're in that AFC South, where I don't want to say the division's up for grabs, but you look at a year ago, the Titans played the Houston Texans extremely tough. You look at the Indianapolis Colts in that division as well. You can't guarantee any one team is going to be in the lead. Trevor Lawrence coming back healthy and then drafting Travis Hunter. So I think this is going to be such a fun division to watch, and young quarterbacks coming of age and showing what they can do. I'm extremely excited for Cam Ward and what he's going to bring to the Titans.
He's going to have no time to, I mean, I'm looking at, you mentioned the division wide open. I'm saying you have to go up against Travis Hunter, who's a star, going to have something to prove, and maybe the second best corner in the entire National Football League in Stingley. We had on a call this morning, Hamilton and I are like, who's the best corner? Like, it's obviously Patrick Surtain. Get to Jalen Ramsey. There's a trade vibe there potentially. But do you think Derek Stingley's the second best corner in the National Football League?
Stingley's right up there. I mean, I think especially the defense they play, him and Kamari Lassiter, those are guys that they're playing a ton of man coverage. They're locked on. And I love Sauce Gardner as well. He didn't tackle as well this past year, but as far as cover skills, being able to get on a guy and keep him covered up, the difference is Stingley goes and gets the ball. And I think that's a difference maker at that cornerback spot. When you're someone that can not only cover man-to-man and lock somebody down, but when the ball's in the air, you attack the rock and you're able to pull it down and create takeaways for your team. Like, that wins football games definitively right then and there. You look at the way they played in the playoffs against the Chargers, their ability to put the pressure on Justin Herbert, like, they changed the entire game, and Stingley was the catalyst of all of it. So yeah, Stingley to me is right up at the top when you look at the cornerback position.
I mean, I think they might have. They have who has a better secondary? They have the best secondary. Who else? Who am I missing?
I like the Browns
Denver?
secondary as well. The Broncos, to me, though, now you add Talanoa Hufanga to the season that Brandon Jones had last year. Like, the Broncos are tough. And a lot of it has to do with who's up front. Zach Allen and those guys up front and what they're able to do. It makes that defense that much better. And Vance Joseph, he attacks. So I think they jump off the film when you turn them on.
Ravens fans are like, excuse me. Excuse
They
me.
lost my guy. They lost my guy, Darius Washington. Like that. Now you talk about watching a game and falling in love with a guy, Darius Washington, one of the smallest guys out there on the field, runs around full speed and tries to take your head off. Losing him, that hurts. Starks will help drafting
Yeah, I
him,
was gonna
but
say
that
Malachi. Put some respect on
yeah,
Malachi's name.
he'll help. But I don't like to put too much on a rookie early on when you have a guy out there that was making plays. When they started playing and put Washington in the starting lineup and took Marcus Williams out, like that changed everything for the Ravens in their secondary last year.
These Dolphins and Jalen Ramsey. We're hearing maybe he's on the block. What is that face?
You look at it for the Dolphins and you look at their secondary. Kendall Fuller was there a year ago. You don't really know for sure what they have in the secondary as far as Javon Holland just left as well. And then hearing that Jalen Ramsey, like he's gone. Like when you hear Anthony Weaver, the defensive coordinator, saying like just sometimes you got to part ways and it's just not meant to be. This is a guy like you need him. Like they're in a position where they're not a rebuilding franchise. Tua's there, Tyreek's there. Like they're trying to win. So the fact that the relationship has gone sour to the point where neither party is throwing anybody under the bus, but both of them are saying like, hey, it's just best for both of us to part ways. You kind of like start scratching your head and you're just like, but y'all just paid this guy. Like I thought he was one of your guys. So the fact that he's not going to be there is just kind of, I don't really understand why a guy like Jalen Ramsey, why they wouldn't want him there or what went wrong within that relationship.
Not sure, but I'd love to know in your world where he'd make a big impact.
I think right
Like,
away.
are there any landing spots?
Yeah, I think right away the obvious answer is the Rams. He was there with McVay. He won a Super Bowl. The impact that he can have. Quentin Lake already came out and talked about what a guy like Jalen Ramsey would mean in their secondary. There's familiarity with that. So I think you want to have people in high positions on the team that know him. And they know exactly what they're going to get. The Falcons are another team, where Raheem Morris being there, I think can make a big difference because you insert him. He's a guy playing opposite of A.J. Terrell of what they want to do on defense, or Albrecht there. Like that is a difference maker. I think the one team that like I've seen some people mention, but not a lot of people mention, is the Minnesota Vikings. Like Kevin O'Connell, he was there with the Rams when they won the Super Bowl. And I think the Vikings, what Brian Flores does with his defensive backs, Byron Murphy, a guy that plays outside, he plays inside, the way the safeties all move around. Jalen Ramsey is so talented and can play so many different positions, slot, safety, corner. I think that would be a ton of fun if you could see Brian Flores using him as a chess piece and moving him all around, get him blitzing and doing different things to just show all of the talents that he has.
I've been saying all offseason that the Vikings have no excuse to not win the Super Bowl. You have no excuse.
You got to see what JJ McCarthy is. He's never played a game. We got.
What do you mean? He better be great, or you should have been in on Aaron Rodgers. What do you mean? That's what Jason. That is exactly what I'm saying.
That's a good point.
If you weren't in on that and you didn't take that super seriously, and I don't know, but that hasn't all come out yet. But if you better have been sure about JJ. JJ better be Aaron Rodgers, because the window is right now. And you said Sam go, so this JJ better be a big play, big game moment guy, and they better win the Super Bowl. The only like excuse for the Vikings is their secondary, in my opinion, is maybe like short of. So if they get Jalen, now you've got me thinking. Now I'm like I'm jonesing for this to the Vikings, because you've got Jalen and KOC, I believe, spent time together with the Rams.
Yep.
Flores. Yeah, you guys, overlapped, of course. Yeah, Flores, he was your position coach, or Dev's position coach for a while, right?
Yep.
Like, would Jalen fit into that? Does Jalen fit into that Flores world?
Yeah, I believe so. Flo is an open and honest guy. And I think that is what, as you get older in this league and a guy like Jalen Ramsey, like you're craving that and you want to be on a contender. So every team to me, like the Falcons, whether it's the Rams or the Vikings, you're in contention to win your division and actually be able to make some noise for a guy like him. But I do think him and Flo would fit fine together. I think you bring a guy in and you put him in position to succeed. There's nothing a player cares more about than that. Harrison Smith is a veteran there. Josh Metellus, like you have guys, they lost a guy like Cam Bynum. So fulfilling that with another veteran, when you have guys like that in a locker room and the way different people have spoke up and stood up for Flo in that locker room on the defensive side of the ball, Harrison Phillips as well, I think he would be an awesome fit with the Vikings.
I like that you're giving Jalen so much. I think people like forget about him, or he hasn't had like
Yeah.
quite the consistency in his career that other corners have had. But he would certainly make an impact. And then you're going to have like Raw and KOC and McVay all fighting for him right now. Like Dolphins loss, and I mean your expression said it all.
Yeah, because it just makes sense for him to remain there. But from what you've heard Chris Greer say, the general manager, Anthony Weaver, the defense, it seems like it's a no-brainer that at some point he's going to be on the move.
What do you make of this NFL players playing flag? Big news, big topics. Team USA's. You've got their current quarterback, Daryl Doucette, who's like very adamant about, NFL. We do this. This is our thing. Don't come over and take it away from us. A sport we've played for a long time. We feel like we're the best at it. We don't need other guys. We're open to all competition. If those guys come in and ball out and they're better than us, hats off to them. This is a reasonable quote, I feel like. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I love it. Like, just the fact that as NFL players, you're the best in the world. Football is an American sport, and you're on a team here of one of 32. Like, you are the best in the world, so you feel confident like that. But hearing Darryl say that is just like, y'all don't want this smoke. Like, we do this every single day. Like, we've been training to grab flags. Y'all been training to tackle people. So it's a completely different world. I saw somebody tweet it. I don't know who it was, but they said in 2027, we just need to have a game where we have the best NFL players against Team USA flag football. And then whichever team wins, they go and represent for the Olympics. I feel like I'm just too old, but like both my grandparents were born in Montego Bay, Jamaica. So I feel like I may start training and maybe I can go rep. I can't rep USA. Like I'm not running with these guys. Like I can't keep up with them. But me and Dev, man, if we start working out a little bit, start running some, maybe I can go represent a team and go out there.
I would love to see that. And I would love to see you go out and face like Lamar Jackson representing Team USA.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to go against that.
Who I remember when I worked for NFL Network, I worked with Doucette and I worked with all these players that are playing flag. And there are differences to the game, like all these nuances. We can go back and forth. It's like the 100 men versus the gorilla thing. Like, let's solve the riddle. Let's put you guys on the field and see who comes out, because there's a big curiosity to it. I can't, like, when all is said and done though, do you think that there will be one non-NFL player on Team USA?
I think so.
Really?
It's still hard for me to wrap my head. Like, this is in August. Like, this is training camp. So I'm still curious to see like which players are going to go represent Team USA from the NFL. Like, if I'm the Baltimore Ravens, we're trying to win a Super Bowl. Like you said, Lamar Jackson. It's the middle of August. We kind of need you here at training camp for us to have our normal practices and get ready for. So like, I'm still curious to see how many NFL players are going to represent Team USA when the time comes.
If you were still playing, wouldn't you? Like, there's no way that you wouldn't. Like, I mean, look at basketball.
Yeah, but it doesn't coincide. That to me
fair.
is the biggest thing. Like, if you go and get hurt, if you strain a hamstring or something playing flag football, now you're missing week 1 of the season. It's just like, but I mean, who doesn't want to go out there and try to win a gold medal?
What are the chances Tom Brady flirts with this idea?
I could definitely see him doing that. Like, that's just enough. Yeah. Whereas I'm not going psycho mode. Like, I'm not getting hit. And he obviously can probably still throw the ball. Now, and you talk about the notoriety that would bring. Brady under center doing that. That'd be awesome.
Okay, so this is 2028. So he will be 50.
Yeah.
He will be 50.
No way.
50-year-old quarterback. I'm here for this. Tom.
Of course. But if Darryl was pissed off about the other guys talking about they're going to come represent, he damn sure don't want to see no 50-year-old guy think he's going to come out playing him at the quarterback position.
Yeah, but Tom, you're really going to let Patrick get a gold medal?
Over you? But don't the quarterbacks got to have some type
of?
Don't the quarterbacks have to have some type of scramble ability and flag though? Like,
I don't know.
Brady gonna just lay down? He can't. He ain't outrunning anybody.
I'm sure there's some sort of biohacking he can go do and figure it out, and some cryo chamber he can make that work for. I'm not kidding. Or he could coach. Who would you pick? Who would you pick right now to coach Team USA?
Wow, Brady as a coach, it seems kind of scary. I want a guy like Gronk. I want a guy like Gronk. I want some fun. Like, don't come over here and be all serious. Get Mike Vick. Mike Vick was playing flag at one point. Get
Oh,
Vick out
yeah.
there coaching. Like, I like that. Let's get like Gronk and Vick and get some fun. Marshawn Lynch. Like, I want the superstars that bring a ton of fun and knowledge to the game. That's
I
my
think
all-star coaching
Michael
staff.
Vick is a great call. He loves it. He's super invested. His daughter plays flag. He knows the game in
Yep.
and out.
He's a
Wait,
coach now.
Michael Vick might be the one. I love that you don't want Tom to be a coach. Why?
Nah, too serious. I don't want to be. Tom, we're gonna have me
It's
in
a
there
gold
breaking down
medal,
film.
Jason.
But I still want to have fun. We should be winning. It's an American sport. We should be winning. We shouldn't have to put all that time, effort, and energy in. We should be figuring out how much we're winning by in these games.
Okay, so it'll be easy peasy for Team USA. I love to, unless of course you go and play and represent your native country, which I would just love to see.
Then it just got easier.
As well. We're going to take a break, but I know you've been watching The Sopranos, apparently. I'm sure I can't imagine you haven't watched it, being there, New Jersey guy. What have you been noticing? I've never watched it. What have you been noticing?
It's fantastic. The dialogue in the show is fantastic, and your favorite character changes per episode. Like I've fallen in love with the show. I'm watching it all day. I'm almost done with season 4, so I've been locked in. My wife has watched it probably 3 separate times, so she's been constantly talking to me about it. So this off season, I finally buckled down, and I've been focused on watching. I've been all tuned in.
I love that. I know we have some player comps. Do you want me to give you the team?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some team. I'm gonna give you some team comps.
Okay, go for it. Who you got?
All right, so I'm starting off with Corrado,
Junior?
aka Junior, yes, and I'm rolling with the Cowboys. So the reason being is you look at Corrado, he was there from day one. Him and Tony's dad, they were running the streets. He's been around for the longest, and he was the boss at one point. So he was at the very top, same as the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. But then after that, it all went south. Junior's health was failing him. He's on trial now for a RICO case. He's trying to figure out, like, he doesn't know what the hell is going on. And that's been the Dallas Cowboys for the past 30 years. So as fast as you can be on top is as fast as you can be forgotten. So Junior, my guy Corrado, like, he is the guy right now that I would compare to the Dallas Cowboys. It's been a little bit of a struggle, but he's trying to figure his way out. And he's still got his wits about him as well. So he'll surprise you from time to time.
I have no idea who Junior is, although I think if I were to guess, he kind of loses his mind, right? Oh, you're not there yet? I think he kind of is a little loose with it from what I remember.
We didn't quite get there yet.
Okay. So I think sorry. Spoiler alert, they're yelling at me. My co-control's yelling at me. Tony Soprano, of course, played by the iconic, late and great, and rest in peace, James Gandolfini.
Yes. For Tony, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles. Tony, the boss right now, the Eagles are Super Bowl champs. But the way you got to go about it, to me, is the fascinating part. Howie Roseman has been the puppet master behind the scenes, putting all the right pieces in place, getting a guy like Saquon Barkley, making that trade for A.J. Brown, doing all of those small things. And then when you bring all those pieces together, you get a championship-level team. Tony Soprano was in charge when he put Junior in as the boss, and he was making the moves behind his back, even though he wasn't the boss. But when his time came, he stepped right into the spotlight and he was ready for it. And he just continues to retool. Already in season 4, he's getting ready for his departure. Just like the Philadelphia Eagles, just because they won one, they're continuing to retool and trying to do it again. So Howie Roseman is much like Tony Soprano, moving behind the scenes and making everything work.
I'm crying. I bet Hamilton, don't you worry. We'll bring you on. I'm sure he's dying because he's Mr. Sopranos. And I don't even, Hammer, just step in here. We're going to be back, just Hammer, get on in here. Can we have, thanks, Fowler. Hammy, did you two cook this up? What the actual F is happening here?
If you think I had something to do with this, I didn't. Okay. This wasn't me. It was all Jason, and I'm here for it. I love it. I love the Cowboys comp to Junior. I got to say, Tony, I was thinking more Chiefs because you're thinking there's no way he's going to get out of this situation. He always just finds a way to end up on top.
That's true.
Even when things don't look good for him. So I was thinking.
I was going Carmine for the Chiefs because he's just that guy. You know what I mean? No matter what's going on, he wins no matter what.
I like
Except
that one too.
last year, The Chiefs didn't win. So what?
Yeah.
So what is it? So that's the finale episode. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I mean,
okay. I want to know.
Tony ends up in a hospital bed sometimes, and he makes his way back, just like they will.
How about Chris? Who is Chris and which team?
Chris, so you can go the Ravens or you can go the Bills. Chris is my favorite. I love Lamar Jackson. I love Josh Allen. I love these guys because they're right on the cusp. We keep talking about them being able to take over, but it's like they can't get out of their own way sometimes. Chris has some things that he does in his extracurricular activities that it prohibits him from being the type of guy he potentially can be. So I'm only on season 4, so don't let me spoil anything from me. But I feel like that is Josh Allen and that's Lamar Jackson with the Ravens and the Bills because they're right there on the doorstep, but they just can't get over the hump and they keep on beating themselves. Kincaid dropping a pass with a chance to win. Mark Andrews dropping a pass and fumbling. Right there, ability to get there and just can't get out of their own way. That's
the Ravens and Bills are drug addicts who enter toxic relationships. That's
you said it.
That's what Jason McCourty just said. Chris, am I right, Hamilton? Is Matt Chris is like a little lost boy?
Yeah, he's got a lot of issues. He also sees that Raven at his making ceremony, Jason. So you got the parallel there too. That ominous Raven that's watching it.
He's with that not so. What's that girl's name? Who's the lady?
Adriana?
Yeah. She seems tough. Okay, and then last but not least, who is Ralphie and what team?
Oh, that was an easy one for me. The Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, you look at Ralphie, and there's times where he's the best earner out there. And then there's moments where you don't know what the hell Ralphie's going to do next. And that is the Bengals. At one moment, they're playing and they're competing in the Super Bowl. And the next moment, they're not even in the playoffs with a quarterback that is breaking all types of records and a receiver that has a triple crown. That is Ralphie in a nutshell. At one moment, he's the guy, he's earning all this money. And at the next moment, he's making fun of Jenny Sack and he's about to get off by Johnny. So there's so much going on. And the same thing, Ralphie is just absolutely nuts. And I feel the same exact way about the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's the guy from Bad Boys, right?
Ralphie Sopranos.
Hamilton, I got nothing. You take this I got nothing for you here in this convo. Talk to me.
No, I like that one too. Hopefully the Bengals have a better hairpiece than Ralphie, but yeah, that's a good one.
I love that you're so excited of this. And speaking of the East Coast in New York, Knicks Pacers game 4. Jason, Knicks down 2-1 on the road. Hamilton's blaming me for saying that they were going to sweep. They're 2-point underdogs. Do they even it up tonight?
Yeah, they even it up tonight. They unlocked a different level of our guy called Anthony Towns, cat, New Jersey native. So as Jalen Brunson. So I got to rep those guys. You know what? I tried to make my son a Knicks fan. They're balling right now. They're the talk of town. I go out and I get him a Jalen Brunson jersey. Come home like, hey, dude, got your Brunson jersey. He was like, why would you give me that? I'm not a Knicks fan. And I was like, you little ingrate. And I'm taking it back to the store and it pissed me off. But I think the Knicks are going to tie it up. That was a tangent right now. That's just parenting in a nutshell. Things come up and I just get pissed at my kids while they're at school. But yeah, I think the Knicks even it up.
And happy Father's Day to you, Jason. You were the absolute best. We'll see you. When will we see you on CBS or ESPN? What's next?
When games start to show up and the season starts to get closer, you'll see me. I'm just so happy that I was able to come on the show. Dev's been on 15 times. Oh. I've known Kay forever, Hammer, Chris Suarez, my guy Ryan, my guy Islo in the back too. So I'm just happy that you guys finally allowed me to come on the show. So thank you so much.
I'm not even going to you know what? I hope that there's a rabbit. I hope there's a whole family of rabbits. Maybe like a chipmunk. You know what I wish upon you for I hope that your son, who does not like the Knicks, I hope he's like Dad, pet snake coming into the house here in summer.
And that damn snake could live in a garage now.
And we can agree on that. Jason McCourty, we always love you. We always appreciate you. Congrats on everything. Thanks for making the time, you busy, busy man.
Anytime. Thanks. Good to see you, Kat.
Hi to the family. Great to see you. Of course, we'll be back after this.